You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Live. Well, we know really the biggest news in sports right now is related to the NBA and their vaccination policies. Who's getting vaxxed? Who's not? The media keeping tabs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar losing his ever-loving mind, going on Chuck Todd's MSNBC show. LeBron James getting drug in and then getting drugged because he doesn't want to endorse said jab. Even though he took it, he said, I don't want to endorse it. Okay, I don't want to tell other people what to do. And for a brief second, we saw a spark of common sense from LeBron James. What the hell's going on in the world right now? Well, Draymond Green, and I'm going to tell you, Draymond's one tough sumbitch. He seems very old school in the way he plays in the NBA, sort of reminiscent of the guys in the 80s and the 90s, in the early 2000s, the Anthony Masons, all those guys, those tough guys. Charles Oakley, dudes like that. Rick Mahorn, he plays good defense, and he'll scrap if he has to. Without a doubt, Draymond Green will scrap if he has to. Well, Draymond's come out with some very common sense words when it's related to the jab. He's got his teammates back. Andrew Wiggins, who's getting drugged by everybody. Draymond slams the media. He slams the fact that this whole thing's become a politics game as well. Smart words from Draymond. This is Outkick. Draymond Green said he'd rather mind his business than comment on the vaccines. Man, what's going on right now? Golden State Warriors forward Andrew Wiggins is in jeopardy of missing games due to the Bay Area's vaccination mandate for indoor venues. NBA teams in Los Angeles, New Orleans, and New York will be subject to vaccination laws, though the league itself has not imposed a mandate. An array of players now have a narrowing window of time to get vaccinated as the season tips off October 19th. We can't wait to cover that train wreck over on Black and White Sports. And the sports media is beginning to pressure unvaccinated players into getting vaccines, even though they could still be sidelined with a case of the Wuhan virus. Wiggins is on the COVID hot seat as teams await approval on a religious exemption for him to continue the season unvaccinated. And I believe I don't know if he appealed the decision of the NBA on religious exemption. I don't know what's going on there. In the meantime, because I thought he was initially denied, but maybe he can appeal it. In the meantime, teammate and team co-leader Draymond Green is staying out of Wiggins' business and is respecting his decision to remain unjabbed. In fact, Green is even calling out the media for promoting a misleading narrative. Green spoke with ESPN and was asked for his insight on the decision. Quote, that would be like Andrew, who everyone knows recently just had a kid, maybe 5 months or so now. That would be like me telling him, yo, your wife is going into labor. How dare you leave this team and not go tend to your wife? That's something that's personal to him. That's something health related. That's something that's personal to his family. This is no different. Green gave a nod to the politicization of labeling people as vaxxed and unvaxxed. When you make something so political, not everyone will be into politics, Green added. You can also turn those people off. I think there is something to be said for people's concern for something that is being pressed so hard. Like, why are you pressing so hard? As reported by Gary Sheffield's over at Outkick, Wiggins is not relenting to external pressure from the media or the league. I'm just going to keep all of that private right now, Wiggins said, when asked about potentially getting vaccinated to be allowed at home games in Oakland. I'm taking it day by day. My back is definitely against the wall, but I'm just going to fight for what I believe. as of September 30th, the AP has confirmed 95% of players in the NBA have been vaccinated. You know what? I didn't think about the relationship between the two, but I wonder if we're getting a little exposure to people here that may not have agreed with all of the social justice things that the NBA got into last year too. Certainly not LeBron. We know he was the cheerleader of that crap. But we're seeing other players that maybe weren't quite so on board with that. Like there were players angry behind the scenes about boycotting over Jacob Blake. Okay, they didn't agree with doing it. But those players didn't go public because they knew they would be ostracized by another group of players. That's just another side tidbit to think about in all of this. But Green's right. Oddly enough, Green was very, very pro-American during the Olympics. I will say that. I will give him credit. He was very, very pro-American during the Olympics. And let's be honest, for a league that shills China, we haven't seen that very much. He's completely right. He's completely right. This is the media is pressuring people. It's turned into a political game. We've said on this channel, it's all about your personal choices. If you want to get the jab, go get it. If you don't, that's up to you, okay? But you're an American. You got the right to do what you feel you need to do, all right? And I don't like the fact that so many of these rights are being constricted, right? Like the trash compactor in Star Wars, all right? I mean, it's closing in on these NBA players. It's already closed in on NFL players. I mean, the guys that don't have the jab in the NFL are having to jump through daily hoops, and we're talking about elite athletes, elite healthy athletes. Jonathan Isaac talking about the fact that, hell, I already had the damn thing. Okay, so he talks about, in his opinion, YouTube, natural immunity is a thing for him, okay? And that's one reason he feels like he doesn't want to get it. All right. So Draymond speaks some very coherent, common sense words here, and I applaud him for, breaking from the crowd, breaking from the sheep. All right, and coming out and making these comments. I also applaud him for having his teammates back, because there's too much feuding going on in sports right now. For example, like all the Saints that did not have Drew Brees' back initially last year. And they all dropped, they all came down on him, and then he, like a cur, bent the knee to all of those wokesters over there on the New Orleans Saints. Tell me what you think, Black and White Live fans. Hit subscribe, check out the podcast, check out the merch store. Promo code ESPCNN. 25% off anything in the merch store right now. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.